Hi guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Amy and it has literally been a long time since I've done a YouTube video. Today I want to put together a video going through all of the most important aftercare which you need to follow if you are going to have hair extensions. I'm sure that you will know by now how expensive hair extensions are, and honestly the key to long-lasting hair extensions is following the correct aftercare. So my background with hair extensions is I offer them to my clients. So I do nano rings and the LA weave, and I've been hairdressing now for like 15 years, so I've got a lot of experience. I've also had hair extensions. I've not got actually any in at the minute, but I've had hair extensions in my hair since I was like 21, so about 9 years now. So before we go into the aftercare of the hair extensions, I just want to give you a bit of truth about what it's like to have hair extensions in your hair. And I can honestly tell you, from having mine in on and off for years, you'll get like a love-hate relationship with these hair extensions. You'll love them because your hair will be so thick all the time, your blow dries will last for days, it will just always look amazing on photos, like it just feels amazing when you've got hair extensions in and they're styled. But at the same time, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm gonna be completely honest, they're annoying. Like, you can't help but feel when you've got hair extensions that there is something in your head. You know, you always feel the bonds when you brush your hair. You can't just scrub your head when you get out of the shower. You know, you can't just run a brush through without feeling where the hair extensions are. So it's really important to take into consideration all the aftercare which you're going to have to follow, how it's going to work with your life if you've got children or if you've got limited time. And I would also say that there's none which are good for your hair. At the end of the day, whatever hair extensions you go for, you're adding extra tension onto your hair and onto your scalp. So I want to run through each thing one by one, and when I'm talking about them, I would just really think about whether this would work for you. First thing which I want to talk about is the importance of not sleeping with your hair wet. You're just more prone to the matting, so this is the easiest way to mat hair extensions, especially, well, I do nano rings, and I find that nano rings, if you sleep with them wet, you'll just wake up and your hair will be literally like a bird's nest. So this is so important that you don't sleep with it wet at all. The second thing which I want to talk about, which is still related to the sleep, is the importance of, before you go to bed, I would recommend getting a tiny little bit of your hair oil, rub it through your hands, put it through the mid-lengths and ends of your hair extensions, and then just plait the hair extensions. And what this will do is it'll just kind of keep the hair extensions sort of like all plaited together, so there's no risk of them matting in the night. If you really struggle though to plait your hair, I would just recommend wearing it in like a bun or in like a bobble, just so that it's all up out of the way, and just so that it's not sort of like lying around all over the place, like just getting all tangled. And the reason why I would say just put a tiny bit of oil through your mid-lengths and ends before you do this is just to give your hair extensions that tiny little bit of extra moisture before you go to bed. And I only recommend doing like a tiny little bit of this, so just literally like one pump or just a tiny little like 1p piece worth in your hand. Rub it through your hands just so that it's nice and even, and then put it through your mid-lengths and ends of the hair extensions, dry, do your plait, and then you'll be ready for bed. The third thing which I want to stress about is using non-sulphate shampoo and conditioner. So this does not mean going to Asda or Tesco or your local supermarket and buying the cheapest shampoo and conditioner, because if you're spending all of this money getting hair extensions, I promise you, like, just invest in some good shampoo and conditioner. And the most important thing is just to not have any sulfates in it or any parabens. So any professional brand, usually, you know, there's loads of different types. I'll link some in the description box below, but as long as it's got no sulfates in, no parabens, I think they're called parabens something, so yeah, just as long as they've got none of them in the ingredients. The fourth thing which I want to talk about, which if you don't use hair oil at the minute before you have your hair extensions, I can't stress enough how important it is to just invest in a good hair oil when you've got hair extensions. The difference that this will make to your hair extensions will be unbelievable. You'll get so much longer out of your hair extensions if they are kept moisturised using a good, decent quality oil. And again, like with all the products that I'm going to recommend in this video, don't just go out and buy like a really cheap one from the shop and think that that's going to give you amazing results. You need to be just making sure that it's got no sulfates, no paraboms. There is a couple which I will recommend personally, and I will link them in the description box below. These oils are tried and tested by myself. They've got really good ingredients in them, and I know that they are amazing. And I would apply hair oil to hair extensions wet and dry. So when you get out of the shower, you shampooed and conditioned your hair in the shower, get out, towel dry your hair, and get as much moisture out of your hair at this point as you can. Then get 1 or 2 pumps of your hair oil, rub it through your hands, and then just rub it through the mid-length and ends of your hair. The 5th thing which I want to recommend is to get a decent soft hairbrush, because when you've got your hair extensions in, you will feel them, and if you have a brush where you're catching them, it will be pulling you and it will just hurt. So I would just recommend getting something like a tangle tamer, a tangle teaser. I'll link my favourite brush of the world underneath for hair extensions, but just something soft that you're going to be able to easily get through the hair extensions and are going to glide over your buns or your weave. The 6th thing I want to recommend is to do a weekly mask on your hair extensions. I would recommend using Olaplex number 3, only because I know Olaplex actually repairs the hair. So if if your hair extensions have damaged or deteriorated a little bit, I know that Olaplex number 3 will help repair that hair, and honestly it will help it feel like silk afterwards. But if you don't want to get Olaplex, then you could just do any weekly mask, something that's just going to give it some moisture once a week, give it a bit of self-care, and it's going to help it feel like silk. But yeah, so what I'll do is I'm going to link all of the masks which I recommend below, but I'd probably say Olaplex is number 1, Olaplex number 3. The 7th thing I want to talk about, which should actually be number 1, is to do not miss your maintenance appointments. I don't know whether your hairdresser is going to recommend a couple of weeks, 8 weeks, 10 weeks. I usually say to my clients no longer than 8 weeks. They need to be back in that chair, getting the maintenance done, because if you go any longer than you should, then your hair extensions are going to, for 1, start matting, and number 2, it can damage your hair. So this is really, really important. 8th thing is to use heat protector before you put any heat on your hair. So prior to curling, straightening, and all of that, invest in heat protector. I will recommend my favourite underneath, Thermal. It's called Thermal Image by Wella, and it's really lightweight, gives a nice shine, it's really soft on the hair, and all you need to do is just give the bottle a shake, spray it on your hair extensions dry, and then just use the heat afterwards. It will just give them that little bit of protection. The next thing I want to talk about is your hair washing routine. When you've got hair extensions in, you will only need to wash your hair once or twice a week. And if you're someone who is washing their hair every single day, and so you've got fine hair now, I would recommend just doing it once, twice a week when you've got hair extensions in. 1, it's going to take you so much longer when you've got all this extra hair to wash. 2, you can just use like dry shampoo on your days that you don't, wash it. So that will just help prolong between your washes. The more washing, drying, styling, heat, the quicker your hair extensions are going to deteriorate. If you cannot go more than 1 day without washing your hair when you've got your hair extensions in, there is a trick which will allow you to wash the top of your hair every single day if you want to, twice a day. Wouldn't recommend twice, but as much as you want. And that is, what I would do is when you've got your hair extensions fitted, you will like feel almost like a semicircle around the top of your head there, where all of this will be the top. What I'd recommend doing is getting that section of hair, and maybe this front sides here, tying them in a little bobble on top of your head, and what that'll do is it's going to separate the top to the bottom of your hair. So you'll have your bun here with the top bit of your hair, and then underneath here you'll have like all of your hair extensions. Get your hair extensions all at the back, and you've got your bobble here. Wrap this almost round itself. Just get the whole hair as one like that. Twist it around your finger and just like wrap it round on itself like that. Then get a bobble. Oh God, just bashing me on. Get a bobble, wrap it around that bun like that, just so you've just got like a little bun. It's got your hair extensions out of the way. Then take this bobble out, so you'll have this big long bit here of your own hair. And then if you want to wash the top of your hair, go in the shower, and what I'd recommend doing is like sort of leaning forwards over, say the shower's here, let the shower water come down and just wash the top of your hair. So this bit you can just shampoo it and then condition it as normal. and just leave the back. So this bit stays dry, the top bit stays wet. And there is like a bit of an art to do with this because it's a fiddly job, but once you get the knack of it, you'll be able to wash hair whenever you want, and it'll also save you so much time. The next thing I want to recommend is totally your choice because they're your hair extensions, but if you do want to prolong the life of the hair extensions, I would recommend minimizing the amount of heat that you put on them. So this will be the same as your own hair. If you curl and straighten it every single day, it's going to dry out quicker and it's going to deteriorate quicker. So I would recommend trying in the week just to wear it up, or just don't put any heat on it, just wear it smooth in a bobble, you know, just when you're going to work or whatever, and try and just keep your styling to on a weekend and when you're going out, because this will help keep the moisture in the hair extensions and it'll just help them last longer. The next part of my recommendation is all related to what you need to do on holiday, because hair extensions and holidays are not good together. You can obviously have them done to go away, but just be mindful that the sun can damage them big time and it can change the colour of the hair extensions. So try and minimise as much of the sun exposure as you can. So if you're going out all day, try and wear your hair in a bun, or try and wear a hat, or just try and do anything to keep that hair out of the sun. The second thing is trying to get any of your hair extensions in any chlorine. Trust me, that is the easiest and quickest way to accidentally send your hair like green, orange, and I've known it happen to a couple of my clients when they go away. As much as you want the most gorgeous, luscious hair extensions when you go on holiday, just keep them out of the sun and the chlorine. If you do this by accident, because I know what it's like when you're away and you get thrown off a boat, or you end up going to swim in the sea and then you end up just someone dunks your head underneath the water, and if you do find they go any funny colours or if they don't feel right, get in touch with your stylist and get some advice from them and what they would advise. The last thing that I want to add to my aftercare advice for hair extensions, if you do have bonds or if you've got nano rings or any kind of small extensions, I would recommend every day just running your fingers around the extensions, and just if you can feel the bonds where they are, just try and just separate any little hairs that you can feel that are like around them. If you can do this every day, that will just be, if any bits start to mat, you'll be basically just separating them. Don't find yourself pulling bits of hair that aren't meant to be there. Just gently work your hands through, and if you can feel any bits that are tugging or any bits that are sort of like just catching on any of the other bonds, just gently like run your fingers through. That now brings us to the end of my hair extension aftercare video. I hope for anybody who was thinking about having them, I hope this gives you an idea of the main things which you need to take into consideration, which are going to help prolong the life of the hair, and lots of new changes which are going to be coming into your routine if you do have them. I want to thank you for watching, and I will see you again next time. Bye bye.